Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. These titans of industry, pretty much everybody knows. But somebody else you should know is their contemporary, Dan Bricklin. Dan Bricklin was the inventor, the creator of the famous VisiCalc software. Not very well known today, but in terms of our technological history, it's one of the most important inventions that's happened in the past century. It revolutionized the way that we interact with computers and the way that software is developed. Dan Bricklin had this amazing idea whenever he was at Harvard, according to the Harvard Gazette. He had come from MIT where he had gotten an electrical engineering degree, and he had worked for a cash register company, getting to know what normal people would actually need in a type of software. And whenever he got to Harvard, he was taking all these business classes, and they would have all of these abstracts that they would have to go through. And Bricklin, always having to do the tedious calculations with his calculator and a piece of paper, always doing all these forecasts and formulas, began thinking, what can I do to make this faster? He imagined a magic blackboard with a calculator to interact with that blackboard, and on the bottom of that calculator would be a mouse pad, something that he had seen in a video of the new technologies from that day. But he started working on this software that you could change the numbers inside of that software. You could go through the different cells, and if you changed a number, it would change all of the rest of your numbers to match up with that. So if you ever made a mistake, you didn't have to recalculate all of the work that you had already done. This wasn't the first spreadsheet program, but what it was the first marketable spreadsheet program. It was the first program that a normal business person could use, a normal student. It wasn't geared towards engineers or towards multi-million-dollar company accountants. This was geared for the normal person, somebody like me and you. But how does VisiCalc affect your life? What does Dan Bricklin's innovation do for you? Well, it just about affected every piece of technology after 1979. About 95% of households in the United States have a computer in them, that if you're under the age of 45. That number is 90% for all households if a person's under 65. So Bricklin set the stage for this massive technological innovation, this wave of personal computerization. He made it to where software was more applicable to the normal person. And they called VisiCalc the first killer app. And all of us know apps today. You got YouTube, you've got TikTok, you've got all these cool things that we interact with for leisure, and all of the cool things like budgeting apps that we use to organize our lives and to do work. And you know that apps are important because 95% of people, according to a Pew Research study, ages 18 to 50 have a smartphone. So you know that they're using apps. That's the only reason to have a smartphone. So it's safe to say that every major has been affected by Dan Bricklin's innovation VisiCalc. But the major that has been most affected is the School of a Business, your accounting degrees, your people who are going into sales. We use these types of data spreadsheets on a day-to-day basis. whether it's the person who's going to be preparing your taxes, the person who handles your FAFSA, the person who takes your tuition in at school. All of these people are going to be using some sort of spreadsheet software. And Dan Bricklin's influence on that software is still very visual. The format hasn't changed a whole lot other than new tools and stuff added. So if you go look at VisiCalc, the old VisiCalc, and look at an Excel spreadsheet, you'll definitely see a huge resemblance in the two. So VisiCalc revolutionized the way that we interact with information, the way that we interact with the world, the way that we interact with academia. And proof of that is how we're interacting with this class. Me and you were using technology to talk to each other, to pursue better lives in the professional sense. And Dan Bricklin's VisiCalc helped pave the way for that. So the next time you do a budget, or the next time you do your FAFSA, which is coming up, don't forget, Dan Bricklin helped make that possible.